Hello, Natalie. It's very nice to meet you again, and thanks for giving me time to interview you today. It's an honor to have you with us today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rona, or I usually call you Bu Rona. So thank you for inviting me. And yeah, I love this experience. So thank you.
Congratulations that you have won the District 87 International Speech and Evaluation Speech. Wow. So how do you feel? How do you feel?
Wow. I think that was the first word that came to mind. Wow. Because when I heard the contest chair announce the name of the winner, I experienced like a plethora of different emotion. So I felt surprised, I felt stunned, and then I felt ecstatic, elated. And then I also felt so grateful, because I didn't expect, I didn't expect this. So I just my heart was overflown with like gratitude.
I expected you to be a winner.
Thank you.
I have seen many of your speech, I think from your speech in Bahasa and then also in the division, the club and then division, because I think your speech, I think the really positive feeling is that the emotion that you invoke, the audience to feel and as if that they are on the journey with you. I think that's the positive side. And how long have you been in Toastmaster?
Okay, so let me take you back to where it all started. It began in 2013. I think it's February or March 2013. I was in my last semester in my university in Australia. I had been saying no to my friend who invited me to Toastmasters meeting because we actually had one club in our university. So for 3 semesters, I said, no. So in my last semester, I said, you know what, February, I might give it a chance, I will come to one of the meetings. So I came to one of the meetings and I thought, this is great. I should have come to this sooner. So I immediately signed up as a member. And in the last semester, I think I only had 4 months. I did 5 speeches. So that's where it all started. Then I finished my study. I moved back to Bali in 2014. And then I took a break for about a year from Toastmaster because of, finding job and then settling down, blah, blah, blah. And I rejoined back in 2014. And yeah, it's the journey is like a really different kind of dynamics also, because in Australia, the clubs are many. Sorry, the clubs were and are still many. So if you go to my university, you will find one club. If you go a little bit further, you will find another club. But in Bali, when I joined Toastmaster, there were only 2 clubs. So one entire island, 2 clubs.
So you have joined Toastmaster for 8 years now.
I think more correctly speaking, 7, because I took 1 year off. I didn't do anything.
When you first joined Toastmaster, what was your expectation by joining Toastmaster?
That's a great question. I remember the reason why I wanted to join Toastmasters was because when I went to the meeting in my university club, I saw most of them, they're all native speaker. And coming from a non-native speaking countries like Indonesia, and maybe many of us who listen to this video or this podcast also experience the same thing. It doesn't come naturally to us speaking in English. So I look at them and I'm like, wow, they're really great. And then it's not just about them being a native speaker, but also how they can convey their ideas clearly in such a way that it's easy to understand and it's still interesting for the audience to listen to. So I thought it's not just because they're native speaker, but there must be something else. And that's what I found out, this how to structure the idea and how to deliver it with clarity. And that's what made me join Toastmaster.
And I think you have achieved that purpose, right?
So I think so.
Yes. Do you have any additional experience while at the same time trying to improve your public speaking skill?
Additional experience as in, can you clarify a little bit more maybe?
Maybe you find a community or of many friends who have the same interest, and then it become a long-time friend or a long life friend. What are the benefits other than just being better in public speaking?
Yeah, great question. And thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it. Actually, I stayed in Toastmaster for 7 years now, I think. Most of the time, I didn't plan to be a public speaker. I didn't plan to be a trainer or to pursue anything professional related in speaking or training. But the reason, my why I stayed in Toastmaster was because I see the value, and I see the people that I met in Toastmasters who then become my friend and my community in a sense. So let me continue a little bit. After I rejoined Toastmasters in Bali, there were only 2 clubs. So it's very close-knit community. And then things happen. So in my first 2 to 3 years after rejoining in Bali, I was more focusing on the leadership side of Toastmasters and also building relationship with the community around us, because it was quite a tough time for Toastmasters in Bali. We see a decline in membership and yada, yada, yada. Long story short, we started to pick it back up. We started to, turn it around when we apply a more personal approach, making our club member as our friends and family. So we really try to apply that, warm, inviting, encouraging vibe, and trying to make Toastmasters as their second family. And I think that's why I stay there, because people I met and people I then had the privilege to be in touch with, to build personal relationship with, they're really supportive. And we actually collaborated not just in Toastmasters, but also outside of it. So I see the value actually firstly, not on my personal growth, but firstly on the relationship that I made with people in the community.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So because the community is very positive and they are very supportive, and we have friends all over the world, especially if you attend conferences when it was offline, so you can meet people in person, so you form connection there.
Absolutely.
But many of us who join Toastmaster may not have the drive to be champion in public speaking or champion in the district. What do you think that make you different so that you can become a champion for the District 87 International Speech and Evaluation Speech?
Wow, I think everyone joined Toastmaster for different reason, and that is totally fine. I think what makes me different is maybe I go the extra miles, as in, first I realized this is what happened last year during the pandemic. When I watched 2020 district contests and I saw my friends competing, I saw my mentees competing, and I started to think, you know what? I want to be there in that stage next year. So I started with the intention of actually competing right after the district contest last year, 2020. So I wrote it down in my notebook because I'm a digital dinosaur. I like to write everything with pen and paper. So I wrote down 2021 district contest. I will be in the top 3 for evaluation, international speech, and table topics. So I just write it down as if it's like a wish list, because we all can dream big. So after that, after knowing the intention that I wanted to compete, your intention actually helps to give you direction, the goals that you want to achieve. So it helps me to focus on the direction I need to go. And then my good friend Pipit, she always said, talent is common, hard work is rare. So I just walk and work hard and smart. I then realized several things along the journey as well. First is I cannot succeed by myself. That's why I need to reach out and ask for help from many other people, because me just by myself will not be able to achieve anything. Just like in business, Borona, because you're a businesswoman, and maybe people who watch this video also, running their own business or working in a corporation or working a team, if we are doing it by our own, there's only so much we can do. But if we involve other people who can help us in our journey, then we can go further. And then after reaching out, I also realized that no matter how good you start, let me rephrase that. No matter how talented you think you are, you can only go as far as you practice and you prepare yourself. So I realized the importance of preparing and practicing also through this journey. I think contest or entering competition is a great exponential learning for anyone who wants to, fast track their learning in any kind of things, maybe in public speaking, in business, when you're doing a pitch. Also, maybe if you're an athlete, you go and compete in a contest, you will definitely exponentially accelerate your learning. So because I know my intention, 2 years ago or a few years ago when I entered the contest, my intention was, I think I just wanted to try. But this year I said, I wanted to be there, I wanted to win, and let's do this. Whether I win or not, I don't know, but that's just what I said to myself last year. So yeah, that's what I did.
So basically, you really would like to participate and be a winner about a year ago, and then you try to find a mentors or coaches who can help you along the journey. But during this 1 year, do you actually practice the same speech for your international speech, or you were still searching for the topics or the speech that you will deliver? Because I heard like some people practicing for a year before they actually join the contest, trying many different ways of how to deliver the speech. So how is your method?
Oh, that's very interesting. For me personally, I need to complete my DTM project last June. So I think in the past 2 years, I wrote quite a bit of speeches to also finish my qualification. But after the district contest last year, I became more intentional about what I wanted to share. The message or something that I feel strongly resonated with. And then I didn't really think about it. So I just, when I need to make a speech, I make a speech of, I think this might be interesting. Someone might be benefited from this. But then it comes to a point where I experienced something, and then I thought, why? So if you've seen about my speech, it's one afternoon while I was cleaning up my house with my mom, then I found that teacup. And then that was like the trigger that made me wrote the speech, because I was just dumbstruck. Mom, come on, seriously, you keep this for like 30 years? For what? And it made me actually reflect back on myself and my life. And I started to write the speech as a part of actually letting go of the frustration or the question mark. And it's like a cathartic process. And from that one first draft, the speech actually underwent many revisions, but I didn't have like a certain dates. For example, some people might have, okay, I need to do this, I need to do this, No, I just let it flow naturally. So on August, there was a Lomba Pidato Bahasa in Denpasar Bahasa Toastmasters Club. So I used that first draft of that speech. And then on October, I think October or November, we had a demo meeting for Bhinneka Online. So I translated that Bahasa speech to English and making some revision. And then on December, I was invited to speak in one of the Toastmasters club in Canada and America. So I also make a little revision because I thought, oh, maybe this is like very Asian context, should make it suitable for a wider Western audience. And then on January, I competed in Lomba Pidato Bahasa Indonesia, Toastmasters Club, at national level. So I made a little bit revision. So it's like when you're walking with this speech on my hand, it underwent slightly different revision all along the way. So I didn't intend it to be that way. It just happened naturally. But yeah.
And thank you for sharing, because I think that was a very wonderful personal story, really invoke our emotion combined with your body gesture and also voice intonation. So it makes it dramatic. And you mentioned that the importance of coaches and mentors to you. But can you explain or share what specifically mentors and coaches help you or the value to you?
Yeah, I think if you haven't got a mentor or coach yet, I strongly encourage you to have one, to reach out and ask someone to be your mentor or your coaches, because what I find out is by having mentors, it will really help you to fast track your learning. So for example, if you learn by yourself, you will be able to learn it just like what I did. In the first 5 years as a Toastmaster member, I didn't really have an assigned mentor. So I just learned as I go from my club members, from people who visited our club, because at the time there was no online meeting. Yeah, Bu. So it's all limited to where we are. But last year, and after I finished my first attempt in international speech contest, my friend Chandra offered me to mentor me for my division and district 2019 speech contest. So I learned speech crafting from him, some tips and tricks that I still use until now. And then last year with the pandemic, it's bad things for our business or for our own well-being, but it has a silver lining in which we can learn from all people from all around the world. It's like a borderless learning experience. So since last year, I went to different Toastmasters club. I also reached out to some of my friends that I look up to, and I want to emulate them. And also I want to learn maybe some specific things from them. So I asked them to mentor me. And I think throughout my experience, I learned that if you have like a long-term mentors, it really helps with your growth. For example, Donna Barclay, distinguished Toastmaster Donna Barclay, is my speech evaluation mentor for this year's contest. And from her, I learned so many things because I really look up to her and I like her style. I love it. It's very positive, encouraging, still has substance and style. So when I reached out to her, we then scheduled our mentoring session. It was once a month since I think it was July last year. But then nearer the contest date, it becomes like twice a month, just for us to check in. We practice several things together. And then it's not an instant process. It's gradual improvement. And this is also something I wanted to share with people who are thinking of joining Toastmaster. When you join Toastmaster, it is not an instant result that you will get, but it will be a gradual improvement. So having a mentor is very crucial in fast track your learning. And you need to find people, if you want to find your mentor, find people that you can learn specific things that you feel like you are lacking of or you want to learn from. And also people you want to emulate. So those are the two things I think when you look for a mentor, ask yourself those two questions.
Okay, thanks for sharing. And actually, I also experienced having being mentored by you. And I feel the value of having a mentor, because we can learn a lot faster than just learning by myself. Thank you.
Yes.
And I see actually in all of the contests, all of the speakers utilize personal storytelling. I really love your story. What do you think the components of good storytelling? You can share with us.
Yeah, I think storytelling is such a broad concept and it can go anywhere. But I remember a few years ago, I think 2 years ago, I shared this in one of the education session I did in Magical Bali about storytelling. I shared with the audience, there are 5 C's in storytelling that I think can be relevant, not just in writing a speech, but also when you want to do your business marketing, when you want to write something, if you're a journalist or if you need to make something. So the 5 C's are, number 1 is there's always need to be a characters. So the characters can be yourself as the one undergoing the process or someone else, but there must be a character. And then the second thing, there is a circumstance. Circumstances is like the background information, what happened, where it is, when. It gives context to whatever it is that you're trying to tell to your audience. And then the third thing is there must be a point of conflict. And conflict here is actually identification of problem. So when we're in business and we want to launch product or services, we launch them because we see there's a problem, right? Otherwise, why would we launch or sell something that people won't need? So there must be a problem. There must be a point of conflict also in the story so that the audience will also feel emotionally invested. So sometimes in my evaluation, I also give some feedback like, contrast more, show more struggle, because that can help to make the audience feel something in your speech. And then the fourth C is changes. Changes is transformation or solution that is presented to the problem or the conflict before. So if the characters is undergoing a journey, then he or she will also encounter problem and find solution or having some transformation. Either it's in attitude or in thinking, or maybe as simple as in, the way he or she can tell his story. And the last, number 5, the last C is conclusion. So there must be a message that you want to give to your audience, something that can conclude the speech or the story that you wanted to share. So I think these 5 elements can, in a brief summary, can capture the essence of storytelling.
Thanks for sharing. So we could all learn from this 5C. And since the contest is not just hearing, but we also see, and I saw that you have very good voice intonation and body gesture combined with personal storytelling. So can you share with us what combination of, or if there is any formula to make this presentation entertaining, emotion invoking, and enjoyable?
Wow, this is like a big question, but it's a $1 million question, because I think each of us, we all have like our different characters. Like some people are more outgoing, more expressive with their hands and their expression. Some people, they tend to be more reserved with their expression and, the way they use their body and the way they use their gestures. So I think if we want to do this, let's not compare ourselves with others. Just compare ourselves with our past self. So first thing you need to put in your mind is don't compare with others. We can learn from good speakers, but let's compare our progress with our past self. So that's like one thing that we all need to remember. And second thing is we need to assess where we are and what we need to improve the most. I think that's the thing we need to do first. Yeah, self-assessment. What I'm good at? What should I improve on? So for me personally, I realized that I think one of my strength is my expressions and my gestures. So from there, I thought, oh, I can capitalize on this, because when you are able to display emotion on your facial expression and you use your gestures to also convey that same emotion, then the effect will be amplified. Like you said, well, the speech is not just what we listen to, but it's also what we see. And when you see and you listen to something that is synchronized or supplementing each other, then it will be like a full impact, emotional impact that you can learn, that you can experience. So the second thing I would suggest is know your strength and know your improvement points. And then the third thing is, when you practice, let's say when you want to practice for gestures or expression, for me personally, I would watch movies, because movies, they are professional actors. And in movies, the actors also portray emotion. So I would watch movies and I thought, wow, this actor is really great at portraying the emotion. What did he do? And by doing so, it's actually not, I'm not only learning about the expression or the gestures, but it's also about the vocal variety, the pauses, the pacing, how they whisper and how they shout. It's like a play of emotion. So watch movies or listen to a podcast or a reading, but look for examples somewhere outside of like the speech realm. That's what I would suggest.
Okay, thanks for sharing. So we could start looking for resources where good movies which invoke our emotion, at least to get some comparison. Okay, that's about international speech. Now let's move a little bit to the speech evaluation, which we haven't touched. Can you share the formula for a good and a winning evaluation speech?
I think many people said that speech evaluation is impromptu thing, so you don't really need to prepare. Well, for some, it might work that way. For me, I still need to prepare. At least I need to prepare my own structure for speech evaluation. So this is what I do for my speech evaluation. You can use this guidance if you like. You can tweak it and adjust it so it can fit you better, because there is no right or wrong in speech evaluation. Just do it based on what suits you better actually. For me, I like to give a balanced evaluation. So number one rule is balanced evaluation. Balance here means that if I give like 3 points of credits or 3 things that I like, I would also try to offer 3 things that I think the speaker can improve. So keeping the balance well, I believe it's important, because if you give so many compliments and then less recommendation, it can be seen as, sugarcoating. Maybe sometimes it depends on the intention of the speaker as well. That's why I said there is no right or wrong. If you give a little bit of praises and then so many things to improve, it can be felt as like a harsh critic. The speakers can feel down, they don't want to continue on. So I think keeping it balanced help to maintain the substance and also the emotional impact for the speaker. The second thing I would normally do is I try to find specific recommendations. A lot of things a lot of mistakes that I did in the past was I was trying to put in so many things in just like 3 minutes evaluation. So it's either I became overtime or my evaluation became unclear, because there's so many things I wanted to say. It goes here, 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 and everywhere. So now I learned to, okay, there's only so much I can do in just 3 minutes. So let's focus on certain things that the speaker can take away and can directly apply it for her or his future speeches. So I focus more on specific applicable recommendations. And then the third thing that I also do is And this is very personal. For me, I like to customize the evaluation, just like when you make a speech. For example, sometimes I get an idea about, when I listen to the speech, usually I get some idea how to open my evaluation and how to try to package it nicely. So you can infuse your own style in how you say it and how you arrange your opening, and also the way you say it, basically. That's what works for me. But I also noticed that some of my friends who are great evaluators, they do slightly different methods. Some of them, they do they do like 1 point of commendation, and then 1 point of recommendation, 1 point commendation, 1 point recommendation, which is a great way as well, because it's like good improvement, good improvement, good improvement. It's still balanced. It's just the way we structured is different, which is definitely fine. So that's why I said, find what works for you, and learn from anyone.
Yeah, what I like about, or what I love about your evaluation is always very structured, and the way that you deliver it, really, we learn and give very positive vibe.
I almost forgot to mention that the purpose of evaluation is actually not for us as speech evaluator to highlight ourselves, but it's for us to help the speaker to be in the spotlight. So the spotlight is not on us, but on the speaker. My good friend Alicia Curtis said that evaluation is a gift to the speaker. So we try to put the speaker on the forefront of our mind. We want them to feel uplifted. We want them to get something substantial. And that's what I'm trying to do so far.
And I also noticed good speaker is also a good evaluator. I think these two are very related, because by being a good speaker, you know what the component of a good speaker, and so you know what a good speaker is supposed to be, so that reflected in your evaluation.
For me, Bu, I think I started off with evaluator first before I become speaker, because in the first 4 years of joining Toastmasters, I enjoy evaluation. I didn't really want to compete in international speech, actually, until the contest was eliminated in 2018, because our district got some change in policy. So in 2019, when I wanted to compete, the choices were only table topic or international speech. So I thought table topic, I was totally stuck at it. So maybe let's do international speech. So I totally agree with you, Bu. When we are able to evaluate someone and offer feedback, it will be beneficial for us as well in our own speech writing and our own speech crafting as a speaker. It's a virtuous cycle.
Yes, I agree with you. Thank you. And Natali, I think so far we have discussed about your success, but I'm sure there are many struggles you experienced on your journey in Toastmaster, because everything is not instant. Like you said, everything takes time and you are on a journey. So can you share your struggles with us on your journey in Toastmaster?
Yes, definitely, Bu Rona. I think I encountered so many struggles in my journey in Toastmasters, not just to lead to the speech contest, but also as a member in general. So in terms of leadership, there was some struggles when I tried to keep the club alive back in the early years of me joining in Toastmasters in Bali. But then when we wanted to talk about my speaking journey, until 2019, I didn't have an assigned mentor. So I really learned, by myself as I go. And one of the reasons why I realized now was because I was reluctant to reach out and ask for help. So I always felt like, but I didn't really know him. I didn't really know her. Would he or she want to help me? But maybe, yeah. So I was like reluctant and I was unsure whether I'm worthy to be helped by others. But then when 2019 came in my first international speech contest, I didn't have any other choice because that was my first attempt. So I asked my friend who already have gone through similar experience, and I asked him to teach me things. And then I asked other friends to give me some feedback on this. And I thought, well, actually having mentors is really great because I learned so much more in the span of 2 months compared to in the span of, I don't know, 3 years, 4 years before, because it was like very focused, very compact, and really, I was really focusing on that too. So yeah, the struggle was for me is to reach out and to be open, to be vulnerable, because I think one of the things that we are also struggling with, Bu, is we're trying to maintain our face or our ego, especially if you're used to success or if you're used to be the best or if you're used to achievement, to humble yourself and ask for help and to learn from beginning again. It's not an easy process as well. So that's one of my struggles. And after I get past through that, after I started to reach out, another struggle that I encountered was actually self-doubt. So I still had a lot of self-doubt, even until now. Sometimes it popped in time to time. And I always felt like, I'm not that good. Many people are better than me. Yeah, but maybe not a lot of people can resonate with this. Yeah, but who wants to listen to me? Things like that, all of these lies and all of this self-doubt replaying back in my mind. So it's all about this mental battle and also ego and pride battle that I personally experienced this. Yeah. And then another thing that I can share with you is also the struggle to maintain our motivation, because in Toastmasters we pay for our membership. We don't get any money. Nobody paid us to do anything in competition. It's our own time, our own energy that we invested in to prepare. So the struggle is also for me is to maintain focus and also maintain the motivation, because contesting it's like a marathon. It's not a sprint. You focus on one, run 100 meter, finish. Contesting is over the months. So my emotional graph is like up and down. But I one of the struggles for me is to maintain that emotional preparedness, I guess, mental preparedness for the contest. And also for me as a speaker, I also try to be genuine. I try to be real, because I believe that when we are real, when we are genuine, we can connect with our audience better. And yeah, to show vulnerability, be genuine, be real is also something that I learned most recently in the past year. So I think those are some of my struggles. There are many, but I think those are enough for now.
About the struggle, do you find that your family support you? Because I know that you have your family business, and being involved in Toastmaster is taking a lot of time as well. So how is your mom? Is she supporting you?
Yeah, so I wouldn't be here and still a member of Toastmasters until now and contesting until now if my mom is not there to support me. So yeah, I'm so grateful and I'm so lucky to have a supportive mom. Maybe some moms out there will tell her 30-something-year-old daughter to get married, but I am so thankful that my mom told me to do whatever that makes me happy and to pursue whatever I want with my life. So yeah, I'm so thankful for my mom because of her support, her love. I'm here.
Yes, That's great, because then you find the spot and you don't have to worry, because you have no conflict within, because something you want and then sometimes your parents do not allow. So here is clear. Okay, thanks a lot for sharing, Natali. What do you think your key to success?
Key to success. I think looking back, I realized that when we started with an intention, the intention will give us direction to go where we want to go, the goals that we want to achieve. And then it will also give us motivation to keep on walking. So I think not just in contests, but also in my life or my business, or maybe your life and your business as well. If we start with an intention, or maybe some people call it vision, then the intention and vision will give us direction. And that direction, we also get motivation, because our passion and our intention can fuel our, drive to go there. So I think the key to success is really knowing your intention, focusing on making that intention a reality, or making that vision a reality, because by doing so, you will try to overcome challenges. You will try to reach out. You will try to keep on learning, because life is a journey and not a destination. And then whether you get there or not, there's so many other factors in life that you cannot control, but you know that you've done your best, and you won't look back with regrets. So I think the key is start with the right intention, focus on the direction you want to go, and keep on walking.
Wow, thank you very much for sharing. I think that's the gist and very important to all of us, not just in Toastmaster, but in our life as well. Now, before we close, can you share words of wisdom and something else which you might share which I haven't covered?
Words of wisdom. Okay. I think in whether you are a Toastmasters, or you are a wife, a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, a boss, a staff, whoever you are in different kind of life setting that you are in, I think one thing that I personally resonated with is that we need to know ourselves. So we need to know what is our main motivation. We need to know what we want to do with our life. Knowing ourselves is the beginning of wisdom. I think one of philosophers shared that. So I realized that when we are able to know ourselves better, then we are able to plan, and also we are able to connect with ourselves even better. And when we are able to take that inward journey in ourselves, I think that helps us to express more emotion and vulnerability, and to ask for help and reaching out. Because some of the things I learned also along the way is some people, they have great potential, but sometimes what hinders them is they don't want to reach out, or they're reluctant to reach out. So I would encourage people to know yourself better, know what you want in life, and then reach out and ask for help, because help will be there when you reach out for it.
Yes, I agree. People are very helpful, and they are very willing to help if we ask for it.
Yes.
Yeah, I think, thank you very much, Natali, for spending time with us and share your journey in Toastmaster and how you become a district champion, and your key of success, and also your wisdom. So we all could learn from you. And although for all of us, maybe this is something which we could learn if we want to join a contest. And even not joining a contest, there are many of the G's which is really helpful for our life. Thank you very much for sharing.
Thank you, Verona, for inviting me.
And thank you for the honor of having this interview with you, Natali.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. And wish you all the best for your regional contest. And hopefully see you at the top at the World Championship. Best of luck.
Thank you, Rona. Thank you, everyone. Let's see. Hope for the best. Thank you.
Hope for the